any flowers, but I have a couple
But
of
their
tomato
audio's sort of
plants
low
and
right
have
now, but I can turn it
flowers
up.
on them. So hopefully I'll have tomatoes.
Oh, good.
I intentionally have their audio kind of low, but I could bring it up right now. I'll bring it up when
Yeah.
the service starts for just a couple minutes.
Good morning, Penny, Mary. Good to see you. Everybody, goodness gracious. Louise, Stephen, Margarita, looking at who's on my screen. Deborah,
Hi, Norma.
Lovedy,
Norma, yeah.
Di.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Stephen. Hi,
Morning,
Norma.
Stephen.
There's Lynn. Welcome, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn.
Over the second screen too.
Yes.
Hi, Joan.
Hi, Janet.
It's good to see everybody.
Oh, you too.
To see
Devin.
you.
My family away from my family.
Yes, for sure.
My home away from home.
Yes, yeah. Well,
I'm
we
still-
certainly have a heart connection with you.
I'm still trying to get the husband to move there, but we're still working on it. We were doing good until Rev Roxanne told him that they ice skated to work, and then he looked at me and went, "Oh no, it's too cold."
And we all just want to move south.
Yeah. Not right now, you don't.
True, true. We do have the best of both worlds when we can come down in the winter
Yeah.
and come up in the summer.
There you go.
It's not about the weather, it's about the clothes.
Okay.
Clothes?
Yeah, if you have the right clothes, it doesn't feel cold.
This
And
is
so we sell all the right clothes.
The other thing to remember is that Ottawa is a lot farther north than Kitchener-Waterloo.
Yes.
Oh, is it? Is it?
Oh, yes. And
Ah.
Windsor is right near Detroit.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but the first time I came for the 6 weeks I stayed, I packed warm, man. I was so excited. I'm gonna get cold weather, cold weather, cold weather. I sweated the whole time I was there.
That's funny. I'm going to mute everybody and so that we can begin.
Good morning, everybody.
Marion, you'll
Sorry,
have to unmute.
now I'm unmuted again.
Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Marilyn Smith. I'm hosting today for our beautiful service, and we're looking forward to this being a kind of a new, exciting adventure. So give us a little while to got to get into things, but we've got some slides with some information, with some music over the top first, and then we're going to have a welcome and a land acknowledgement, and then we're welcoming Unity Windsor with us today, as well as Unity Ottawa, and Unity Windsor is going to provide all our live music. So as we move through slides, the song slides will come up, the words will come up, and they'll be providing the music, and we're super excited. So I'm going to turn on my slides, get things going, and then just listen to some nice music to get centered and comfortable. Thank you for sharing our Zen thought today, Joan. You might not have known that I was going to share that on this screen, but you sent it to me by an email, and I thought it was perfect for Unity today. So thank you very much. Welcome, 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 everyone. We're so pleased at Unity Kitchener to be hosting this service today with 3 Unities here today. So Unity Spiritual Center of Ottawa, welcome. Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor, welcome as well. And we're so happy that Reverend Janet Ellis is here for her second of 3 talks on nonviolent communication. We look forward to hearing her talk today. As we're in so many places today, if you'd like to put where you are in the chat, we can find out sort of where everybody's at. And I know we are in several cities, several communities in Ontario, small and large, and also we're across the country. So anywhere you are, please put that in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. The gong gathers us together. Let's get centered. Let's be here for an hour of joy and sharing, learning, and shared spiritual connection. That's what we're here for. My name is Marilyn Smith. It's my pleasure to be your host this morning. We have a chat afterwards, so please feel free to stay on afterwards so we can get to know you better. Anybody new, please feel welcome. Let us know who you are. We'd love to talk to you afterwards. As we all live on Turtle Island, we'd like to send an acknowledgement to the stewards of this land. We gather from many places, and we as settlers are grateful for the opportunity to meet here and thank all the generation of peoples who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. We acknowledge the Indigenous stewards of this land, and we recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. Please honor wherever you are. We also acknowledge the contributions of the Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples have made, both in shaping and strengthening this community, our provinces, and our country as a whole. And to all we say miigwech. We will record the service today, so it'll be on YouTube later on. And if you can stay on mute, it just helps our bandwidth. I'll let you decide whether you want to have your video on or off. I know sometimes our speakers like to see all the faces on the screen, so feel free to stay up and make sure you laugh at the right times and show emotion at the right time. We're taking a deeper dive this year, and we look forward to Reverend Janet giving us that deeper dive. We're going to have an opening song from the music team of Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor, and we thank them so much for doing this. The screen will stay up because the words will be on the screen.
Recording in progress.
I'll turn it over to the folks at Windsor.
Hello, hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Good
This is
morning.
Mike at Unity Windsor Music Team. I don't know if I'm up on your... Oh, there I am. Hello. And we got a number of people here in service over there. Say hi, guys. All right. Today our song is Today I Choose. It's by Karen Drucker. And in case the lyrics... Oh, you got them up there. All right. Here we go.
What do I want my day to be? I choose. What do I want to feel today? I choose. What do I want my day to be? I choose. I choose. I choose. I choose. Today, I choose to be grateful, so grateful. Today, I choose to be grateful, grateful. Today, I choose to be grateful, so grateful. Today, I choose to be grateful, grateful.
Happy.
Today, I choose to be happy, so happy. Today, I choose to be happy, happy.
Happy one more time.
Today, I choose to be happy, so happy. Today, I choose to be happy, happy.
Peaceful.
Today, I choose to be peaceful, so peaceful. Today, I choose to be peaceful, peaceful. choose is how my day's gonna be. Claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. Today, I choose to be loving, so loving. Today, I choose to be loving, loving. Today, I choose to be joyful, so joyful. Today, I choose to be joyful, joyful. Whatever I choose is how my day's gonna be. Claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. It's all up to me. Today, I choose to be thankful, so thankful. Today, I choose to be thankful, thankful. Today, I choose to be grateful, so grateful. Today, I choose to be grateful, grateful. To be grateful, grateful. Every day I am grateful, grateful. Today I am grateful, grateful.
Woo, thank you.
Great job, everyone.
Woo. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful, wonderful opening song. Made me feel all bouncy and want to sing along. I'm going to present it over to Cheryl Rogers, our UK spiritual coordinator, to present our opening intention.
Thank you, Marilyn. I invite you all just to take in a deep breath and just relax into your chair. Feel those shoulders, feel them just rest, lower themselves and relax. And take another deep breath, bringing your head and your heart together into one place, your heart space, and be present right here, right now, together, as we join in oneness, as we join with Windsor, Unity Kitchener, Unity Ottawa, and Unity Ottawa and Unity Windsor are known as the Unity Spiritual Center of Ottawa, Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor. We are so grateful to have you here today to explore this collaboration further, to have the live music from the wonderful music team in Windsor, and just for everybody who is here and open to being curious, creative, and doing things in a new way, exploring our future together. We know that times are changing, that we are changing. We are living our mission of expanding consciousness and empowering lives. And we do this together. We do this as a joined community, reaching out to the world, creating a shared spiritual awakening. And now I invite you just to surround yourself in loving white light and see it expanding out into your community, away and above, and see the white light joining Ottawa, joining Windsor, expanding further out into the country, out into the USA, down to Texas, down to Florida, just from coast to coast, and expand that out even further to the world. Let us surround the world in loving, white, healing light, knowing that we have a purpose and we are here. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Cheryl. Namaste. We have Jean Herzog, one of our Unity members, reading Dr. Paul Hasselbeck's Absolute Word of Generosity today.
Morning. Today's absolute word is generosity. As I give, I apply the principle of generosity. The limitless resources of infinite spirit and divine ideas, known as principles. I use them with a loving heart and clear mind. Emily Cody, in Lessons in Truth, stated, there is already provided a lavish abundance of divine ideas for every human want. I always have all that I need to live abundantly and share my abundance with others joyfully and freely. I give generously of my resources, talents, skills, and time. I joyously support those I care about. I am generous with praise, gratitude, and encouragement. I give without thought of reciprocation. I center and synchronize my humanity with my divinity. I am grateful and trust divine ideas are always available for my unlimited and unfailing use when I put a demand on them. As I give, I apply the principle of generosity.
Thank you, Jean. A perfect message for today. Thank you. And let's put together this blessing for all of our unities. And please affirm with me out loud. Unity communities dwell in the midst of infinite abundance. The abundance of the universe is an infinite source and is always flowing. It flows through each one of us. Good comes from expected and unexpected sources. We open our minds to receive the good. We freely and fearlessly give into life, and life gives back with fabulous increase. For blessings, all blessings, large and small, seen and unseen, we are always grateful. And we give thanks for what is and what is to come, and so it is. And for Ernest Holmes, all the power of the universe is within you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were true. Our second song from the Unity Spiritual Center Windsor music team is going to feature Angelica with Seeds of Peace. And Mike, I'm not sure if you want to come on and just introduce everybody on your team first, so we know who's speaking there. Thank you.
So my name's Mike. I'm a piano player and the music director here at Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor. And we have Angelica Shaka, who is a regular soloist here at Windsor for us. And we're going to sing the song Seed of Peace. If you want a different view of us, maybe there's cameras hooked up to the Unity Windsor user. So if you happen to see Unity Windsor, you might see us through one of our other cameras. Otherwise, enjoy watching me through the laptop here. This is Seed of Peace.
As a tiny thought, a seed that's planted in my mind. And as it grows, its warmth I feel as the love of God through me begins to flow. It starts with me, a tiny seed, and radiates throughout the whole wide world. It starts with me, a seed of peace, and with it, think how bright this world would be. As I live within this peace, it touches all the people in my life. And as we share, the spirit grows, creating spaces that from strife. It starts with me, a tiny seed, and radiates throughout the whole wide world. It starts with me, this seed of peace, and with it, think how bright this world would be. Let's plant it now, this seed of peace, and send a thought to everyone we know. And as it grows, this seed of peace, let's visualize it spreading round the world. It starts with me, a tiny seed, and radiates throughout the whole wide world. It starts with me, this seed of peace, and with it, think how bright this world would be. And with it, think how bright this world would be. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angelica. Thank you, Michael. That was beautiful. And what a wonderful introduction to our speaker today. Thank you so much. Our friend Reverend Janet Ellis is with us again today. This is the second of 3 talks in our series of our deeper dive for 2022 on nonviolent communication. Taking responsibility for our feelings is her talk today. And just so you know, Reverend Janet, who is a friend to all Unities here, but is also an international speaker, interfaith minister, and published author. She wrote Wake Up, Break the Generational Cycle, and Be Yourself. She's also a manifesting coach, and she specializes in personal resilience, emotional, and spiritual wellness. She has her own company called Janet's Planets of Empowerment. And I'll shut down my slides and welcome you here today, and we look forward to your talk.
Good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you. Man, that girl sounded pretty good, didn't she? So, once again, we are together in regards to what we call nonviolent communication, which is a book that was written by Marshall Rosenberg. Many of you may be aware, some of you may not. Just know that this time we have together, I'm barely dipping into the deepness of it. But if you have any interest, any questions, please feel free to reach out and let me share with you what I know. So today we're going to take responsibility for our feelings. Are you excited about that one? I don't know about you, but as a child, I was not taught to feel feelings. Not that my parents were bad people, that just was the way it was. So I have this little poem here I'd like to share with you. What we are feeling. I grew up believing what was expected of me was to prove how strong and violent I could be. And I've been afraid to admit it when I'm lonely, scared, or sad. I thought feelings were weakness and weakness was bad. And that's what we were taught as we grew up. You behave, you listen and do what I say, and I'll give you something to cry about if you cry, right? Now, I understand that that was their intention at the time to deal with what they had to deal with. However, as we grow up and try to learn to deal with the world, it makes it kind of hard to know in a healthy way how to do that. So a part of the process here, and just to backtrack a little bit for those that weren't here last week, the first week I spoke about the 4 different aspects of NVC, which is the small part of it is OFNR, and this is the language of universal human needs, and it's a question that I've asked often, especially of the young men that I mentor. I mentor in a high school, 9th grade through 12th, and at that age, especially when you're dealing with low income individuals, their mindset is completely different than those of us that might have come from an environment that might be a little bit healthier or able to communicate in a healthier way. And so it's very interesting when you have a 15, 16-year-old young man who is 2 times bigger than me, and trying to have a conversation with him in regards to feelings, and they don't have a clue what I'm talking about. So it's been fascinating, and it's also been exciting to be able to see the light bulb go off on with these young men, to see that they know there's another way of dealing with things in life than the way they have known most of their life. And this NVC has come in very handy. Now, today, as far as feelings go, how many of y'all know how to share your feelings? Anybody? Sweet. Okay, next question. How many of you know how to share them in a healthy way? Thank goodness there's some of you out there. I get it. I get it. So there's a difference. So when we say we're having a feeling, sometimes for me, what I've learned in my process is my feelings are physical. It's very important that I'm aware that they're physical, meaning that if I'm having an internal bodily experience, such as I feel a tightness in my chest, my stomach is feeling funny, I got to go with the gut reaction, that is really a true feeling that the body is sharing with you. And it's important to listen to these things, or to be able to verbalize that I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel whatever. It's so important to be able to communicate that in a healthy way. One of the biggest issues today, and I don't know, I can't speak for your area of the country, but I know for us, and I'm sure you've heard, with all the killings and the shootings and such going on, people do not know how to deal with their feelings. I mean, these are wounded individuals that are running around trying to deal with the pain that they have inside of them, not knowing how to do it any other way. Sadly, this is the way that we've learned. And instead of being able to sit down and talk to somebody face to face and say, when you said this to me, I felt angry, hurt, or sad, and be able to communicate in that way that would be beneficial for both people. And it's just like in the teachings of unity. We know that we're all one. We know that we're all working towards the same exact thing, right? We know we want and long for that love and connection that everybody really, really wants. And yet it's so difficult, even in a spiritual community sometimes, to make that connection when our emotions are getting in the way of what we're trying to say, right? So it's a huge piece about being that it's that reacting instead of responding, which is very important. And I know from my background, the only way I knew how to do is to react. And sadly, I brought it into my adult life, and it's taken me years, and I'm still learning on how to be more proactive and respond to situations instead of reacting to situations. And so reaction is pure energy, which we are, but it's showing up in a way that's not the healthiest. Correct? Do we understand that? So feelings are internal bodily experiences of sensations and emotions. Thoughts are all sorts of weird things going on in our head up here. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think you'd want to be up in my head, because there's a whole nother world going on there. You can ask my husband. He's real entertained by it. But anyway, your thoughts, we spend so much time in our head and spend a lot of energy thinking that we know what we know when we truly don't know anything. And what's going on in our head is not related to what is truly going on outside in that world around us. So Marshall Rosenberg is a powerful individual, and he talks about taking responsibility for our feelings. It is so important. So what happens is, so many times what others do may be the stimulus of our feelings, It may be the stimulus, but it's not necessarily the cause. Let me say that again. Others, what they do to us may be the stimulus of our feelings, but it is not the cause of what we're feeling. We are responsible for those feelings that we have. Most every feeling we are having is coming from a previous experience we have had that we have not yet dealt with, especially if it strikes you in a way that upsets you, hurts you, frustrates you, in all those different aspects. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get adjusted here. So, there is an importance here. Instead of saying, I feel angry, sad, or worried, I might say, I feel like you don't respect me. Now, if you were to hear that, would you be more defensive or less defensive? If I say, I feel like you don't respect me, am I attacking you more or less than taking responsibility for myself? So it's very important that we become more aware of what it is that we are truly feeling and being able to share it with somebody in a healthy way. And nonviolent communication teaches us how to do that. So let me just say it's been 10, 15 years now I've been working on this, and it is a practice. It's like anything else, it's a practice. And you have to use it religiously every day if possible so that you can make it a part of your life. And again, I think I said this last Sunday, but again, it was interesting because of COVID, we have not been able to meet with the practice groups that I'm in, and it ends up that I let it go by the wayside pretty much. But now that our practice group is back together again and we started using it, it's like, it's back, it's back, it's back, it's back. I know how to say, for example, when you said that my outfit, just an example, when you said that my outfit looked funny on me, I felt hurt, I felt sad, I felt embarrassed. So I'm not putting it on you, correct? I'm taking responsibility for how I felt. And that's the most important piece right there. And that then it creates an environment where we can both sit there comfortably and not have to be defensive, which is the most important piece about this whole thing, to not be defensive. For us, again, as Unity teaches, we're all one, we're all working towards the same thing. It's all about the spirit, about the love, about the connection of one another, really truly believing our whole hearts that we really do want the same thing. And when we are in a safe environment, when we are in a place of love and feeling safe, we will then be able to have our discussions openly, with our hearts open, with no defense mechanisms. And so to reiterate, I really like that nonviolent communication and unity do coincide together. It's real important, and it's one of the most profound experiences I have had in working on myself. So the language of universal human needs, there's empathy versus expression. So where's your focus of attention? A lot of times, if I'm empathetic, I know how to listen and focus my attention on the person that is talking, right? And that person is feeling heard. And that's so important. So what we want to do is to make sure that we are listening and we are able to even respond to what the person is saying so that they feel heard, right? Then there's the observation that versus evaluation. Observation is a sense of perception, meaning that it's the words we hear, the actions we see from our subjective frame of reference. So I can observe what's happening outside of it, and also our own inner thoughts and experiences. So I'm going to use this example. I heard you say I'm inconsiderate, and I saw you roll your eyes. Or I have the thought you don't respect me, rather than you don't respect me, what you said was unkind and unfair. Can you see the difference there? The verbiage and how it's used. So it's very important that your language, it's almost learning a new language, you guys. I've been working on Spanish for years now, and I can say 3 words. And I'm not even going to try here, but it's like a whole nother language. And it's like when I went to Montreal and they started speaking French, and I just stood there and nodded my head and smiled. They knew that. They know the smile, and they understood I didn't know anything they were saying. It's very important. Observation is also so important. We are so consumed. Let me back up. I am so consumed at times with 150 things going on inside my head and outside of me that I am not truly focusing on that person that's in front of me. And that's not fair. It's not right. And it's not that those human needs are not being met. And so if I want to truly be who I say I am, authentic and real, and to be present for you coming from my heart, then I need to be very mindful and observe what the situation is at the time. So then there's the feeling versus thinking, which I shared a minute ago. Feelings are internal. I don't know about you, but I've had moments where I'm going, oh, well, I have an example, you guys. I have been traveling to Houston, which is about a 4-hour drive from my home. I have an aunt that's 85, and this is just an example. I adore her, absolutely adore this woman. I call her my utter mother, because she came into my life when my mother passed. And so she's been there for me forever. Well, now she's 85. My uncle has passed. Her son is 61 and living with her. He just had a massive stroke. Can't do anything on his own. And here's this 85-year-old woman taking care of this 61-year-old boy who can't do diddly by herself. So I go as often as I possibly can to help out. Now, that does not make me a saint, because I got to tell you, once I get there and have to deal with them for a few days, I am not a happy camper, but I do my best to stay in the mindfulness of what they're going through. And I thank God every day for my life. And so it's so important that I can be present in the moment, because there's all this stress going on around them and things that they have to do that, I mean, there's 100 different things. And then there's this young man who was able to drive a month ago, who now lays in his bed and says, "Mama, mama, mama," and that's all he can say. And so to be in that environment and to be able to come from a loving, empathetic place and not get caught up in my own stuff is a challenge. And it's a practice. And it's life. It's not just with them, it's with every human being we come in contact with, because we have no idea what's going on in their lives. We assume we know, but we don't. Even the people we're closest to, as in my aunt, we don't truly always know what's going on for them. So then there's what we call need versus strategies. Now that's an interesting one. So what all humans want universally that are not specific to any strategy of a person, thing, action, place, or time. So, for an example, I want understanding and appreciation for what I do. That sounds appropriate, right? Rather than me saying, I need you to understand and value what I do. Or I want you to think that I'm worthwhile, because I don't. It's me putting it on somebody else. The 5 principles of unity, do we do that? In the 5 principles of unity, we are one, God is everything, and we are God somewhat in that co-creation. So again, it's all of us coming together as one, learning how to communicate with another loving human being. And I know that's not easy. There are moments, especially, I don't watch the news. I refuse to watch the news. Can't watch the news. Won't watch the news. I see heads nodding. It's just not even worth the energy anymore. And if I knew how to come in contact with somebody that is in that dire need of love and thought that I could be of any help, I would. I have to be real honest here, you guys. I feel sad about saying this, and I shared it with my husband. I travel a lot. I do a lot of driving, and I love doing road trips. I love being by myself, got the audiobooks going in the car. Then I got to stop to get something to drink and go to the restroom. When I go in that restroom, the first thing I think of is, what can I do in case somebody comes in with a gun? How sad is that? I mean, seriously, that I even have to go there. And the other question is, why am I even putting that out there if we really do believe that we are all one and God is, but there is that piece. And so when I go there, I come back and I go, okay, what need is not being met? That's all it is. It's about me not feeling safe or not feeling comfortable in that time. It's not about anybody else. It's about what's going on in me. And it's so easy to point a finger to somebody else. But as we know, when you're pointing one that way, three are coming back at us, right? So we have empathy versus expression, observation versus evaluation, feelings versus thinking, needs versus strategies, request versus demands. That right there says it all, I believe. So if I have a request, I'm inviting somebody to enter into my heart. I'm being real and honest with you here. This is my request. This is my need. This is what I need from you. And I'm doing it in a very loving way. Instead of demanding with shame, manipulation, obligation, you need to do this for me because I did this for you, blah, 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 It's just not the same. So it's so important to be aware. And I have to say, when I first started working on this, it was taking a breath every second going, okay, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, I need to practice this a little bit more. Okay, I'm walking away from this situation until I can get it together. Okay, lots of baby steps, and that's all right. Again, we're learning a whole new language. How exciting is that? So let's just say request, invite, giving and receiving freely from the heart. That's all it is. We're allowing somebody to connect with us. And I just love this. I think it's so important when we do this. So a connection request, a request that seeks further empathy and connection. So example, how is it for you to hear this? So let's just say I said something and I come back to you and I say, so how is it for you to hear this? And then you have the opportunity to say, I'm not comfortable with it. Okay, well then let's talk about it further. Or would you tell me what you heard me say? Because I have to tell you guys, just in my relationship with my husband, I love him so. I'm an extrovert, as you can tell, a multi extrovert. He's an introvert. So he likes to do a lot of pointing to show me something. He points here, he points there, and I'm standing there going like, okay, it's a guessing game. And what I realize is a lot of times, even in our verbal communication, we're saying the same thing, but in a whole different way. And sometimes it doesn't come across too well. And so it's that awareness. I find myself saying this a lot now. Would you tell me what you heard me say? And then we're clear, because sometimes it's not what I said at all. They're hearing it from their perspective, right? Not not from my words. Because we are consumed with what's going on inside of us. It's important to understand that where we're coming from is our world. What our world is: perceptions, knowledge, education, parenting, things that were taught to us from infancy on up. Not to say it wasn't good or bad, it just is. And so you're bringing two different people together. I still find this fascinating that people marry, that they don't even know the person that they end up spending their life with. And it's just fascinating to me. So Len and I will be 30 years in October. You could have knocked me over with the feather if I even thought I'd be married again, much less this long. So to say that it has been a challenge and a wonderful experience is to say the least. But the prettiest thing about it is because he was willing to do the nonviolent communication. He's willing to help me with the workshops that I go to. Or I'll go to a workshop and I'll come home and I'll say, I need you as a guinea pig so that I can do this, right? And so we're able to work through it together. Not gracefully all the time, but we do work through it together. So, request of yourself or another that involves specific actions to meet the needs of yourself or others. An example would be, would you tell me some things that you appreciate about me? And that's not trying to, feed me because I'm insecure. It's a healthier way of saying it, rather than would you not be so negative and critical, right? It feels different, doesn't it? So, I love this language. I love the fact that we are all human. We all have needs, and it's up to us, each and every one of us, to take those steps to better our world, to better our little place in the world, so that we can spread that energy out, which will then want to spread. Then people see us interacting and they're going to want it, and they're going to spread it out, and they're going to want it, and they're going to spread it out. And I think the biggest thing for me is, like in the book that I wrote, it's about that habitual behavior that we have. We do things so automatically that we don't even know that we're doing them. I mean, when you learn to brush your teeth, do you even think about brushing your teeth anymore when you're brushing your teeth? If you're tying shoes, do you even think about what you're doing when you're tying your shoes? No, it's so habitual. I got one for you that drives me crazy. We're still singing the same lullabies to our kids today that they sang to them gosh knows how long ago, right? I don't know about you guys, but the ring around the rosy pocket full of posies, do you know that one? Do you know where it came from? Yes, a bunch of dying people that got to smelling so bad, so they'd pick posies and put them in their pockets so it wouldn't smell so bad. And we're still singing this to our children today. That's an example, I'm just saying. And that's one of many that we do. Rockabye Baby in the Treetop scared the living daylights out of me. When I was younger, I'm not going in that tree. Please don't make me go in that tree. I don't want to go in that tree. Our communication is so important today. Our love of life, our love of sharing, our spiritual connections. I know Unity people are all about wanting to connect, wanting to share their love with each other, wanting to express the freedom that they feel, having learned and grown from what we've been taught. And it's so important. And even having been in a spiritual environment for so long, I can even get caught up in that. And I have all the words and I have all the knowledge, but the sharing of it is a whole different story. And I believe, again, I said that last week, what you see is what you get. The hypocrisy is driving me crazy. I want you to know that we as ministers are human beings. We make mistakes. We try not to, and we do as best as we can. And yes, we've been trained a little bit more, but we still are human beings. So on that note, nonviolent communication is a program. It is a process that would be very beneficial. We have groups that are training and teaching for the first time, for first timers. And then we have what we call the practice groups. And the practice group is when you've been involved for a while, and what you're doing now is you're bringing personal stuff in and you're practicing it on a weekly basis so that you can go back out into the world and use these tools in a way that's really beneficial. And so if anybody's interested, there are YouTube has Marshall Rosenberg talks on there. He has passed recently, but there is still a profound group of people that are out there doing his work. So when you're hearing a negative message, you have options on how you want to respond to it, not react to it, respond to it. Again, the stimulus, what others do might be the stimulus that gets you going. However, it's not the cause. We are the cause. Just know it. We may not want to accept it, but we are the cause. I am the cause of whatever's going on for me. I can blame another person and tell them they hurt my feelings and it's their fault. However, when it gets to the point that my life becomes consumed by that, they've moved on, they may be dead, and I'm still got it going on in my head, then it's about me. It's not about them at all. Does that make sense? So, in order for that not to happen, NVC is amazing. There are 4 options for receiving negative messages, and the big one is blaming ourselves. That's a huge one. I don't know how much time you spend blaming yourself, but if I make a mistake, oh my goodness, again, you don't want to be up in here. You do not want to be up in here. Bob, I appreciate all your information you know about Marshall, by the way. Thank you. Blaming others. How many of us blame others? I know I'm a big one on that one. Again, I have an issue. You guys, honest as can be, 42 years of carrying a grudge with my sister. She doesn't even know. Isn't that great? She doesn't even know that she doesn't know that she doesn't know. But I'm having fun with it down at this end. Oh my goodness. But the interesting thing about that is I just had an awareness recently through this practice group. If I let go of that energy that I have, the grudge, then that means I have to grieve the loss. And I can't handle grieving anymore. I just can't. I'm just choosing not to do that at the moment. But first you have to have the awareness, which I just had. Second, I have to process that awareness and see where it fits for me. Third, I have to be willing to let go of it. And I'm not there yet, but I'm almost there. So just know it's a process. Okay, so blaming ourselves, blaming others. 3 is sensing our own feelings and needs. And then 4 is sensing others' feelings and needs. So I might just say, instead of an appropriate NVC, if I say, you disappointed me by not coming over last evening, am I blaming them? Yeah. So how would I say that differently? If you want to put it in the chat, please do. How could I say that in an NVC way? Instead of saying, you disappointed me by not coming over last evening, how could I say? And it could be, when you didn't come over last evening, I felt whatever it is that I felt. And again, you're taking responsibility for your part. It's very important that we wake up, as the book says. You need to wake up to your part of the responsibility in what's going on in this world. I'm not saying the whole world. Gosh knows we can't do that. But these baby steps, the baby steps that we take on a daily basis to help us become healthier, to help us feel freer, for us to be able to really, really embrace that spiritual love that we have for each other, is the most important piece that we could even offer ourselves, humankind, or the world. And I'm very grateful again for being here with you guys. And I thank you from my heart, dang A, for being able to be here. And I look forward to next week to help you one more step again. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Namaste. So in this moment now, if you're willing, unload your lap, put your feet on the floor, get grounded or as comfortable as you can where you are. Again, if you're willing and trusting, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale and release it fully. Let it go. Let it all go. Let it all go. Inhale one more time, deeply. Again, let it go. In this time and space, right here, right now, where we are, just right here, right now, nowhere else. Feel the blessings, feel the gratitude, feel the oneness, feel the hope, feel the love for one another in this space right here, right now. We have 30 some odd people on this line right here, 30 some odd people who can each take a step out into the world today, breathing differently, seeing differently, loving differently, and spreading God's love and truth everywhere. How powerful is that? So in this moment, take some time to go into the silence and connect. Just listen and just be. And know that all is truly well, especially when you're in the silence. And take another deep breath. Again, release. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And come back and be. Again, namaste and thank you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful meditation. Here's a song that you requested by Eddie Watkins Jr.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives. You are the place. Moves and breathes and has we its are the place. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God you are the place. We are the place. I am the place where God shows up. I want you to clap your hands and sing it with me. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Eddie Watkins, can I have some more of that?
What a great
Do we have
song
some-
to end on. That was wonderful. Perfect for your talk. I loved it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a bunch of notes here, things to review, look up on the internet. All of your teachings and messages give me more insight into more things. And I think we all feel the same way. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. We look forward to next week. Can you stay on for a few minutes after we're done?
Absolutely.
Okay, so please stay with us afterwards. Come and share a few thoughts and questions, and we'd love to have a chatter afterwards. So thank you again so much.
Thank you.
Next week, you are back, and we're excited to do that. Connecting compassionately with ourselves will be the theme of the third of the three talks. So we look forward to that next week with Unity Kitchener and Unity Ottawa, and anyone else who would like to join us at 10:30. I took this saying off Unity Windsor's website just because I thought it was such a great way to suggest about financial support for all of our Unities. All Unity classes, programs, and services are made possible by your generous donations. And we are sincerely grateful for the opportunity to support your spiritual growth and development. Each Unity does look after itself financially individually, so we'll ask you to consider what you'd like to give at any given time, weekly, monthly, or yearly. You can e-transfer to each of the Unity centers. There's donate or give buttons on each of the websites. There's a Tithely app. If you'd like to use the app, it can be actually more frequent, weekly if you want. You can set up automatically. You can do it monthly or do a one-time. And of course, checks are also gratefully acknowledged. Thank you so much. If you think about the energy you have with you today and you want to touch the person next to you on the screen, feel free to put your hands out to touch or hold them together in the energy that you have within your hands. And say with me, divine love, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I joyously give, and all that I joyously receive. I am grateful. We're going to have a closing song, our wonderful Unity base song of all closings, Peace on Earth. And we'd like to have the Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor music team come on back on and lead us in our last song.
Here we are from Windsor. Let there be peace on earth. Are we on? Just double checking. Hello, hello. Check 1, 2. Cool.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to Windsor for being here with us. It was a wonderful joint service. Thank you for Unity Ottawa, and especially thank you to the Windsor musicians. That was just a wonderful way to have live music with us all together. We all have websites. You can listen to any of the previous services online, and think of things as we come together. When you look at a field of dandelions, you can either see 100 weeds or 100 wishes. And I would probably turn that into 1,000 wishes, actually. So stay with us. Feel free to touch the raise hand button as we go to seeing each other all together under your reactions. That puts your screen up in front so we can acknowledge everybody on the screen if anybody who'd like to talk. And I'm going to turn it over to Cheryl Rogers to be our moderator for the post-service chatter.
Thank you, Marilyn, and thank you everyone again for such a wonderful service and just being able to come together. Rev David Old, thank you for contacting me and suggesting this. Was really a wonderful first trial, and hopefully there'll be many more. So, Reverend Janet, nonviolent communication. I really appreciated your authenticity and your willingness to be vulnerable and share personal stories. You know, like you said, what you see is what you get. And I think that's so important for anybody who's on a spiritual journey, to be authentic and to practice that. And so thank you for being such a wonderful example. I will invite anybody who would like to ask a question or who would like to just speak of a personal story or experience that's relevant to today's service. just put up your hand, preferably in the what do you call the electronic hand, where you go to reactions and you see raise hand. And the only reason being is it brings you to the top where we can see you and we don't have to hunt around. So please feel free to pop in. Deborah.
Yeah, I have to admit something. At the beginning, I said, oh, you do not. And I realized how I internalize everything, not expressing.